Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Golden Gloves Chat Show with me, the IBO Cruiserweight Champion of the World, Kevin Lerena. Kevin, thanks for joining us here in the studio. I want to talk to you about our next big show on the 19th of June at Empress Palace, brought to you by Golden Gloves, Generation Next. It's a fantastic tournament. It's a double whammy tournament. We're doing a show in the afternoon, a development show from 2:30, and then we're going to a big show in the evening. But I want to talk to you about the main show in the evening. Akani, Johnny Miller, the rematch. Fantastic. You know both these guys very well. How do you see the fight going? Let's talk about that fight firstly.
I think it's probably the hardest fight to call on the night, Brian. Akani is a nice boxer. He's got a good ring IQ, and Johnny Miller's a brawler. He's a come forward type of guy. He's a real fighter. I haven't sparred or fought Johnny since 2017, and Akani, the last fight, I don't think he stuck to a game plan much, and it went out the window, and Johnny flustered him. It's a pretty evenly matched fight in a sense of I cannot stick my neck out to say who wins. I truly believe it's which Akani comes to the fight and which Johnny Miller comes to the fight. If Akani sticks to a solid game plan, I believe he can be victorious. But if Johnny Miller sticks to his game plan, which what I would do if I was Johnny Miller, he can also be victorious.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty evenly matched fight in a sense of, for the bookmakers, it's a hard one to score. So for that specific fight, I'm going to say it's 50-50 and may the best man win.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's a very that's what makes it such a nice rematch.
Yeah.
Akani needs to win. Sure. I mean, he got knocked down in the first round last time out, and then he started fighting his way back, and Johnny got the decision. And Johnny will come to fight, so it's a really 50-50 fight. A great bout on the tournament. That's the first bout of the evening on the evening show. And then we've got Benoit Vella from the Congo, a guy who's 12-1-1. Good fighter, and he's fighting the charismatic Rourke Knapp. Rourke Knapp's very exciting. What do you think of Rourke Knapp against Vella?
Rourke Knapp against Vella, I think it's going to be a Knapp victory. I'd like to see Rourke tested in a sense of going the distance or having a tougher, durable opponent. You know, when you steamroll opponents like he did in his last fight with that one-shot knockout, it's all good and well. It's great. It creates a lot of hype and it's good. But I think you don't learn much from those fights. And I think we haven't seen the true potential of Rourke Knapp. I like him a lot as a fighter. I think he's got good potential. And as the fights get harder and the fights go the distance and he's presented with challenges, it would be good to see his boxing ability, which I do think he has. Let's see, maybe Vella can test him a bit, but I'm going to go with a Rourke Knapp victory. But like I said, we'll see the true Rourke Knapp, I think, as the fights get harder.
Fantastic. Yeah, well, he's a charismatic, very exciting young man, Rourke Knapp. So we look forward to seeing what he does there against Vella. And then a 10-round junior middleweight contest, Brandon Tyson, the man who won the Fort War. Brilliant fighter, coming forward all the time, looking good. He's grown in stature as a fighter, as a young Brandon Tyson. And he fights Tommy Silvernoy from Finland. So it should be an interesting international fight. It's his first international fight, in fact, ever for Brandon Tyson. Your thoughts on that fight?
Yeah, I think he did very well to win that
Fort War.
He did extremely well. He's come on leaps and bounds since he last fought, I think, on one of my undercards against Mkululeko Mahlongu. He got stopped and he's truly turned his career around from there. So kudos to him and his team. Brandon Tyson is a nice fighter. I think he's got a lot of potential, and he will be victorious in this fight. I do see a stoppage. It's not hard. It's not easy to come to South Africa and to beat a South African at home. Brandon Tyson has evolved a lot, and I think he's got a lot of grit and he's got a good demeanor about him. And once you got that demeanor and that ability to fight, you're halfway.
And a good test for him, of course, in his first international fight.
International fight, and it's not going to be easy in a sense of maybe just steamroll the guy, but I do like his boxing ability, Brandon Tyson. I think he's got a good grit and he's got fighter inside of him. So I'd like to see future rematches like maybe Tyson Knapp in the future.
Yes, going down the line.
But I mean, Brandon Tyson for this specific fight now, he's obviously on his own path and his own way for where he wants to go. And I truly believe this will be a good fight for him to step up into the international stage. And I like him. I think he's got a lot of potential.
Fantastic. And I agree with you. Down the line sometime, Knapp and Tyson rematch should be a great one. And that's what we're going to talk about next, of course. Local is always lacquer when it's two big names locally. You got Dulani Mckenzie against Dulani Mbengi. Mckenzie's undefeated. They'll be fighting for the WBA Pan-African title. We know Dulani Mbengi is a former world champion, only one single loss. That local match is a really interesting fight, a good fight, a tough fight. For me, people might edge the favor Dulani Mbengi, but it's also a 50-50 fight because you've got a guy that's undefeated, hasn't tasted defeat, and he wants to win. Both fighters need to win.
Sure, I think, like you said, it's a tough fight. Local matchups they make for good barn burners. You know, going on last fights, if you look at Dulani Mckenzie's last fight, I think it's a hard fight to see the true potential, because sometimes you fight a spoiler and a spoiler can really make you look average. Dulani Mckenzie is a good technician and he's a crafty boxer. He's from a good team. Sebastian Rothman's a good trainer. And then there's obviously Tools, who's from the Smith camp. Sean's a great trainer. Tulani Mbeng is a very good fighter. And I know he came up short in Germany, but I believe he's evolved a lot since then, in a sense of matured and realized the type of nerves and the type of demeanor and the hype you need to take into a fight by just staying true to your lane and sticking to the track. Tools Mbeng is a really good fighter, and I've always been a fan of his. I'm not just saying this because he's in our gym. Well, he's not in my specific gym with Peter, he's with Sean, but I've seen him work in the gym, I've seen him fight, and I've seen great performances from Tools, as well as I've seen performances from Dulani Mckenzie, which are equally very good.
Yeah.
It makes for a good fight. I'm going to stick my neck out. Both good camps, both very good guys, but I'm going to go Tulani Mbeng.
And I think Dulani Mbeng will bring out the best in Dulani Mckenzie, which is what we want.
Sure.
And that'll make it a great local fight.
Yeah, I think they bring out the best in one another on the night, and on the night I feel Tools will be a step ahead of Dulani. That's my opinion. But like I said, both great guys. Dulani Mckenzie is a nice fighter. I'm a big fan of his, and going into his last fight, I was excited to see how he boxes. I think that guy was a bit of a spoiler and didn't make it a good fight for him. So you can't go on that last performance.
It was the same guy, in fact, that fought Mbengi.
Yes.
And Mbengi didn't look great in that fight as well. So they have a common opponent.
Exactly, and I think you got to put a line through those victories, because it's not true potentials. I mean, if you look at Dulani Mckenzie, beat Morris Matamba, who a lot of people raved about.
Yes.
He's got fast hands, he's quite a slick guy too. And Tools has been a world champion. Tools is a very good fighter. He's got a terrific jab. He's really got a good jab. And if he can control the fight with the jab, I believe Tulani Mbeng will be victorious. How, I don't know. But it makes a good fight. I stick my neck out. Tools is from Team Smith.
Fantastic.
But not just that, he's a good boxer.
Fantastic local fight. I think he's going to bring out the best in Dulani Mckenzie, and we're going to see a crack of a fight, which is, of course, what we want. Great fight for the fans. Great fight for Golden Gloves and for Supersport and for everybody watching the fight. And then the main fight, Jose Martin, Estrada Garcia from Mexico, 12-2-1. We know the Mexicans can fight. Of course, everyone talks about Canelo Alvarez. Now, not everybody is Alvarez, but the Mexicans can fight. And he fights, of course, against Laduma Lamati. The South African Golden Gloves calls him the best kept secret in South Africa, because he really is a good fighter. I mean, he's had 17 wins and a single draw, hasn't tasted defeat, and he's been around a long time, been hanging in the wings. What do you think of that fight, Kevin?
Yeah, I've liked Laduma a long time. You know, I've known him. He used to be in our gym a couple of years back. He's a very charismatic guy as well.
He is.
He's a well-spoken guy. He can fight. He's very crafty. He's nifty on the inside, outside. And I think he's quite strong for that weight as well.
Yes.
Mexicans are tough. We know this. I fought one or two Mexicans. Lamati is not going to be in for an easy fight here. This is an IBO world title fight. If I'm not mistaken, the Mexicans record is 12-1-1. So he's coming to fight. He's rated 16 on BoxRec. So he's got that top 20 rating. It will be a great victory for Lamati. However, it's not going to be easy. However, coming to South Africa from Mexico won't be easy too. So I'm going to stick my neck out and say Laduma Lamati on points.
Fantastic. Well, it's always great, Kevin Lerena, IBO champion of the world, to get your view on the tournament. And this is, of course, a big tournament for Golden Gloves on the 19th of June at Empress Palace, Generation Next. From me, Brian Mitchell, speak to you soon.